and welcome to Hanging by a Thread. My name is Ailsa, and this is my little corner of the internet where I talk about all things knitting. And today is another Whip Wednesday, the quickfire episodes where I just chat about everything that's on my needles in a very informal kind of way. I did this last week, and so many of you were so kind about it, and I felt really positive about putting that together. So we're going to do it again. I can't promise that it's going to be every week, but if there's progress that's been made on whips each week, and if I have the time to sit down and chat for 10, 15 minutes, then that's what I'm going to do. So, and I do have a lot of stuff to show you this time around. It feels like it's been a particularly productive knitting time. I'm definitely feeling that full energy. So let's just talk about all of the things I've been doing. Okay, first up, we have my stone flower sweater, which is in a little bit of a hiatus moment for the time being, because I did a mid-project block. So this is a test knit I'm doing for Knits by Lillian. It's a colorwork yoke sweater, and you can see I have completed the colorwork on the yoke. Oh, it's so pretty. It's looking so good. It's still a tiny bit damp. I blocked this on like Friday, Saturday, something like that, and it's still kind of damp. Like it's a very woolly wool, and it's getting cooler, and it's also really humid here at the moment. You might be able to see it from my hair. But anyway, so I've blocked it. I want to measure the gauge, and once it's dried more, just try it on and just check how it's looking before. So this pattern has, after you've done the increases in the colorwork yoke, it has some raglan increases as well to help with the fit. So just before I do those raglan increases and split for sleeves, I just want to check that I'm happy with how it's sitting, check my gauge, see how everything's going. But I am so beyond thrilled with how this is looking so far. When I tried on the yoke before I blocked it, it was looking pretty good. So I have high hopes for this, but yay. The only sad thing is that now the color work is done, so the rest of this is going to be stocking it in the round. But yeah, really good progress, and I think good to take the time, especially in a test knit, to do that mid-project block. Okay, we also have a lot of progress on my dinosaur sweater, which is kind of amazing how much progress I have, because I will tell you about the trials and tribulations. This is the dinosaur sweater by Knitting for Olive, Pernille Larsen, that I'm making for my daughter. Sorry, you can probably hear my needles clacking around. I have this on the world's longest needles. I think I have a 50-inch cable. So they're always like kind of slipping around everywhere. Let's just find a way to hold this up. Look at it. It's so cute. So the dinosaur, the intarsia is fully done. I will need to embroider on an eye and some teeth, but I was thinking I'd do that at the end. My daughter keeps asking when it's going to get its face, but it's coming. But I think I'm going to do the knitting first and then do that. Let's just show you the scary, terrifying part of this. There's so many. I'm not looking forward to this. I know I should just probably sit down and do it, and then I won't have to look at it anymore, but this does not look like fun. And I'm not even usually someone who particularly hates weaving in ends. It's not my favorite, but I'm not, dreading it. But whew, that is a lot of ends. So I say there were some trials and tribulations with this, completely of my own making. So the way this pattern works, it's knit flat. And at a certain point, it says to go start working the chart. So I was like, okay, I'll go work the chart, and then I'll read the instructions next, not reading ahead in the pattern like a good knitter should. So I just knit my way all the way through the chart, and I was so proud of myself, and it looked so good. And then I went back to see what I needed to do next, and I realized that while doing the chart, I was meant to have done armhole shaping. So I was meant to be decreasing along the side here for the armholes, at the same time as doing the charts. And let me tell you, ripping back intarsia is not something I would recommend. So read your patterns carefully, folks. Um, yeah, that was kind of a bummer. And then yesterday I was working on these shoulders where you're doing the, you separate the shoulders, you're making the neckline. And I just like what you're doing the neckline shaping. But for some reason, I'd ended up doing these decreases on the wrong side. So it was like on the outside of the shoulder, not on the neckline. I was like, this looks so weird. I wonder why the construction is like this. And I was like, oh no, it's not. It's just I've done something stupid. But luckily there's a very small number of stitches, so it wasn't that difficult to go back in and get that right. So you shape your collar, your neckline, you shape your shoulders, and then what they have you do is bind off at the shoulders and then pick up and go down the back. So now I'm knitting down the back. So I'm almost making like a tabard. I was kind of expecting this to be two separate pieces that maybe you 3-needle bind off or seamed at the shoulders and then seamed down the sides. But they actually have you pick up the stitches along this cast off edge and knit down in the other direction. So that's kind of cool. So I'm now about to do the armhole shaping on the back, and then it will just be knitting all the way down, mattress stitching up the sides, sleeves, collars, bish bash bosh. It goes fast because it's for a small person. But yeah, it's been really fun to do, to work on this. I really did enjoy figuring out the intarsia. It's not like my most favorite technique ever, but I really like the impact of it, and I can see myself doing it again, and I'm not scared of it now. So that is fun. I've been working on some socks. I don't really have a lot to say about them. I haven't done that much, but I'll show you. I've been working on my socks that I started in August. These are the Colorwork Cuff Club Volume 1 March socks from March 2025. I started these on a plane, and then I got home and I got kind of bored of doing them. I'm just about to kitchen stitch my toe, and then I'll have the other sock to do. But it's something I've been working on in the last week, but nothing else much to say about it. There's not too much interesting to share with you there. Hey, my Fidalgo cardigan. I was making really good progress, and then it's kind of taken a bit of a back seat while I get more into trying to finish off the dinosaur sweater. Oh, look, I'm in the middle of a row. That's not the most helpful, and I've just pulled my needle out. Okay, give me 1 second while I fix this. I recently learned how to pick up a drop stitch without using like a crochet hook, and I just feel like I have superpowers every time I do that now. And I didn't even have to watch a video to figure this out. I literally just was like, I wonder if I can just pick that stitch up without walking the 3 meters to go and get my crochet hook. And lo and behold, I could. So I don't know. That was exciting, I guess. I'm just going to knit this row, and then I will talk to you about it. Actually, I'm not going to finish this row because I realize I don't know what I'm meant to be doing on this round. That's silly because I'm working in creases. Okay, I'm just going to talk to you about it. And we'll just deal with it looking kind of funky. So last time I think we just had the back panel looking lovely. I now have one shoulder panel done, and I'm working on the next one over here. You can really start to see the stitch pattern and the fabric, how it's going to look. I'm really, really pleased with how this is looking and how it was working up. It's very pleasurable to work. It's very rhythmic in terms of you're doing one row of straight knitting, and then you're doing a 3x1 rib. So you're getting that broken rib, 3x1 broken rib. And it's just very pleasing to work on. So yeah, I think this is knitting up really fast. It's just I'm not actually spending that much time on it because I'm working on more projects. So the fact that I have all of this progress from, um, finishing the back panel, finishing a shoulder panel, and starting, which I can't show you very easily because I'm mid-row, starting this shoulder panel, the fact that I have all of that progress and it hasn't been my main focus tells you like how fast and enjoyable this is to work on. So not a huge amounts to report on this, but making really good progress. I'm really enjoying this pattern. I've said it before and I'll probably say it again. I am a big fan of Michelle's patterns, and if you haven't tried them yet, I really do recommend them. This is as good as all of her other ones. I'm really, really enjoying working on this, and I think it's going to be such a nice, cozy cardigan once I do get it done. Okay, and lastly, I do have a new cast on. It is a teeny tiny cast on. It is from my fall knitting plans. It's very tiny. This is the start of my through-line shawl, scarf, through-lines something, from Andrea Mowry. Oh, there we go. It doesn't want to focus again. You can see I've just done like a couple. I've sort of cast it on. I've done some like the initial setup and a couple of rounds of the pattern as we're increasing. Yeah, I had some energy for casting something new on. I had that feeling of like, I want to try something new, even though I have no business casting anything on. But I just felt like it last night. So that has gone on the needles. This is being knitted with Brooklyn Tweed Loft. I think this is Soot, and this is Snowbound, I think the colorway. And then the contrast color changing yarn is Spin Cycle, but I cannot for the life of me remember what the colorway was called. It is, I'll show you it in the skein. This very pretty purple blue color. But I do not remember what its name was. So yeah, I don't know how actively I'll be working on this, but I did cast it on. This was part of my fall knitting plans, and I'm excited to see this grow. I'm really enjoying the loft. It's kind of a bummer that is discontinued because it's really nice to work with. But there you go. I'm glad to at least, I think I mentioned in my fall knitting plans, I got this in a D-stash, and because I was having that FOMO of like, oh no, I never tried the yarn and now it's discontinued. So I feel really pleased about getting a chance to work with it, and I have some more, but I think I'm going to hold with a mohair. I think for my salty days. I haven't 100% settled on that yet, but I do have some more in stash, so I will get to work with it a little bit more. And I guess in theory, I could try and find some more in a D-stash if I really wanted to, but there you go. That's that one. Oh, doesn't want to focus. There we go. I think it's going to be pretty. I don't think you can really see the pattern emerging yet, but I have high hopes of this working up in a really nice way. So that is everything that's on my needles. I do have that urge to cast everything on right now. It is very much like the excitement for fall knitting is strong right now. But I'm trying to say to myself, like, finish some of what I think my dinosaur sweater could be finished really quickly. So I want to try and at least get that done before casting on anything else. I'd also really like to, once the test knit is fully dried, make some good progress on that. So there will be time. There will be more time for knitting. I might indulge myself in some swatching if I'm feeling really itchy fingered, but that's it for now. I hope you've had a good week. Let me know what you've been knitting on, what's new in your world, and yeah, we'll catch up again soon. Okay, bye.